Today I want to talk about doomers, doomsayers, these people that harp on and only focus on the worst to come, the apocalypse, all of this stuff. And this video will be a little, may feel a little Christian-y or Bible-y. I mean, the Bible, too, the both physical and non-physical. There is so much truth in there as well. I don't consider myself a Christian. Well, there's the Christos energy, the ultimate energy, the highest frequency energy. Now that is what I am a believer in, Christos, but that is source. That's every one of us. So I just know that there is a lot of good in the Bible, and it can be used for a lot of wisdom. So back to what I was saying, there's a lot of channels that are considered these esoteric channels and stuff now as well, or occult, that only focus on the worst things both in the past and things to come, that this apocalypse, this plasma event, and especially the news. I mean, the news it's fucking worthless, absolutely worthless. But anyways, they all focus on the worst, and what people don't seem to realize or understand is that you have to have your lowest low before you have the highest high. This is just patterns, right? Well, we're getting pretty close to the lowest low. I mean, humanity, reality is getting about as warped as it could possibly be, which it's both good and bad, based on your reality and how you see life around you. It can be quite good. Like for someone like me, it's quite good because I know what's going on, and I understand, and I know that we're getting close to this awesome transformation moment, this transcend. And that's also, there is some good to knowing about, because there's always good and bad, because they're just relative things, about knowing of the apocalypse, the plasma event, all this stuff, the rapture, whatever they call it, right? Because it's important to know of them, be aware of them, because that way, whenever something is to happen, say like, an assassination attempt or something like that, you're not completely shocked and your world isn't shaken and upside down and your emotions don't take over and control you. You're able to be like, okay, I understand that this is what's happening right now. Not even if this specifics, you understand the movements in general, what is trying to be done to keep us as a species in a fear and terrified state, and that keeps us at a lower frequency, more worried. In the Gospel of Thomas, which is not even in the Bible, it's one of these little side. It's really just the sayings of Jesus, so it's not very long. But in the Gospel of Thomas, there's a verse where Jesus says that this is heaven. And all these other religions, I mean, especially Christianity, right, in its most commonly known sense, teaches about heaven being an alternate place, hell being an alternate place, right? And you need to atone, or, I mean, the idea of sin, that you're born into sin immediately because of what someone did, Eve, long ago, that you are now responsible for that sin. Ridiculous. And that there's a better life waiting for you, so you don't focus on yours. That's what's more important. What they're really trying to show you, that you can't control your life and you need to pray and beg that a miracle is to happen, and you'll go to some place that's just perfect. Okay, well, in the Gospel of Thomas, hold on, I actually have it pulled up here, verse 113 in the Gospel of Thomas, his disciples said to him, "When will the kingdom come?" Jesus said, "It will not come by waiting for it. It will not be a matter of saying, 'Here it is,' or 'There it is.' Rather, the kingdom of the Father is spread out upon the earth, and men do not see it." It's right here. Been here the whole time. The new earth, the heaven, it's right here. Sure, we're going to some stages where it's going to be even better for beings that know what's going on, but and worse for others that don't. There's nothing to hold out for. You create your own reality. It goes all the way back to the particle. I mean, when they look at the particle, it appears. Whenever you don't look at the particle, it disappears, because our attention, our belief is creating that reality. So if you're not creating the reality, believing in the reality that you live in heaven, then you're doomed to repeat it over and over and over again. Repeat the cycles over and over and over again until you learn that you are in control. Actually, while I do have the Gospel of Thomas pulled up, there's two other verses I would like to point out while I'm there. In verse 53, his disciples said to him, Jesus, "Is circumcision beneficial or not?" He said to them, "If it were beneficial, their father would beget them already circumcised from their mother. Rather, the true circumcision in spirit has become completely profitable." Wonder why we do that. Okay, that's a whole nother rabbit hole. I mean, that you can get into deep in the rabbit hole of like it sexually frustrating males because it agitates, and I don't know about agitates, but like it stimulates, right, the foreskin, and it can get kind of weird and cringy, but I mean, it's something that should be considered, right? And it desensitizes the nerves there because we know it's so many nerve endings there. And if you desensitize the nerve endings, it's less pleasurable and can lead to frustration. It's just another of many attacks that just help ruin the man. It's always about destroying the man. I mean, look at marriage. And lastly, this is also from the Gospel of Thomas, but this little part before it. Jesus, this part isn't from the Gospel. Jesus did not intend to create followers, but instead leaders. Jesus did not intend to let you know you are all Christians, but instead that you are all Christ. Christos energy, what I was talking about from the beginning. When Jesus went back to his hometown and they only knew him as a carpenter, he could not do all those miraculous things that he did because their belief created their reality. And that is the most important thing he was trying to convey. Now, the Gospel of Thomas, verse 31, Jesus said, "No prophet is accepted in his own village. No physician heals those who know him." So think about that. Because the people around him knew him as, he's a kid that grew up here. He can't be doing these miraculous things versus people that have never met him before and hear these wild stories and they believe that he can do miracles, so therefore he does. Once again, belief creating the reality that we live in heaven. It's your choice to choose if you do or not. Okay? And I mean, people, you can always say, "Oh, what's going on over here in Africa or over here?" And these horrible things happen to these people. Is that heaven for them as well? They chose that. We all choose. Okay? They're going through a cycle, same as us. They wanted that to happen. It can sound weird, but I mean, we all have the right to choose. We have the free will because, like it shows in the movie, everything, everywhere at once. Nothing matters. Nothing matters. There's no purpose. Nothing. Zero. Nada. Nothing. Which has to be that way. Because then you give yourself purpose. Otherwise, we would not have free will. If it was any other way, there would be no free will. So it has to be this way. There has to be no purpose, no nothing matter. So that way you can create it yourself. But a lot of people get hung up on that first part. They get nihilistic and then... Anyways, you know where that can lead to. But it's important that it be that way. Because we have the freedom to create. And create for ourselves this heaven on earth. So that's all I wanted to say really about that topic today, about the doomsayers. Not to worry about that. This is heaven on earth. Jesus said it himself many times. That's it.